It was a bright Tuesday morning in downtown Atlanta, and the streets were bustling with commuters and shoppers. David Reynolds, a black man in his early 40s, walked into his local bank carrying a briefcase and dressed in smart, casual attire. He had just finished a high-level meeting at the FBI field office he led, overseeing critical federal operations and investigations. Despite his professional stature, David preferred to blend in during personal errands, maintaining a low profile and observing the world around him with quiet awareness. As he approached the teller, a pair of uniformed local police officers entered the bank, their presence commanding immediate attention. Without warning, one officer, a tall white man with a stern expression, approached David and asked sharply, "Sir, I need you to step aside and show your ID. We received a suspicious activity report." David remained calm, setting his briefcase on the counter and responding in a measured, professional tone. "Of course," he said, producing his driver's license. The officer, however, seemed unconvinced and continued to question him, his voice tinged with skepticism and authority. David's eyes remained steady, his posture composed, his demeanor reflecting decades of professional experience in high-pressure situations. He did not raise his voice, did not display irritation. Instead, he allowed the calm confidence of his presence to speak for him. The officer, still unconvinced, moved closer, hand hovering near his belt, ready to escalate the situation. David, recognizing the potential for unnecessary conflict, remained completely composed. With a slight nod, he subtly retrieved a badge from his briefcase, displaying the official insignia of the FBI field office he directed. The shift in energy was instantaneous. The officer's stern expression melted into shock and disbelief, and his partner froze, uncertain how to respond to the man they had just attempted to detain. Patrons in the bank turned to witness the sudden reversal of power, their murmurs and glances reflecting surprise and awe. David spoke in a calm but firm voice. "I understand your concern, officers. I oversee the FBI field office here in Atlanta. You may proceed accordingly." The officer stepped back, his earlier authority replaced by sudden respect and acknowledgement of David's rank and position. Without hesitation, both officers saluted him, their prior skepticism completely dissolved. David nodded politely, acknowledging the gesture, and returned his ID and badge to his briefcase. The patrons in the bank exchanged whispered comments, many silently reflecting on the dramatic shift in dynamics they had just witnessed. By the time David completed his banking errands and prepared to leave, the atmosphere in the bank had transformed. The officers remained attentive, maintaining a respectful distance, and even patrons who had been engaged in mundane conversations paused briefly, sensing the quiet authority David projected. His calm demeanor, professional composure, and earned authority had turned a potentially tense and humiliating encounter into an instant assertion of respect. As he walked out into the sunlight of downtown Atlanta, briefcase in hand, the lesson for all present was clear. True authority is recognized instantly when backed by competence, experience, and unwavering composure. The morning after the incident at the bank, David Reynolds arrived at the FBI field office in downtown Atlanta, his presence calm, confident, and purposeful. The city streets were bustling with the usual traffic, pedestrians moving quickly along the sidewalks. Yet David navigated them with composed assurance, aware that his position and experience demanded both vigilance and measured action. Inside the office, colleagues and staff greeted him with professional respect, acknowledging not only his rank as the head of the field office, but also the quiet authority he carried effortlessly. The encounter at the bank had become a subtle point of discussion among the team, a demonstration of how composure and earned authority can instantly command respect, even in unexpected situations. Throughout the morning, David immersed himself in operational planning and administrative oversight, reviewing reports, briefing agents, and coordinating high-priority cases. His instructions were precise, his tone calm yet firm, and his presence carried a sense of assurance that set the standard for the office. Even minor questions or uncertainties were addressed with clarity and professionalism, reinforcing the confidence of those around him. The story of the bank incident circulated quietly among colleagues, highlighting the immediate impact of his composure and the recognition that authority backed by experience and professionalism commands acknowledgement in any setting. Later in the afternoon, David conducted a series of meetings with senior agents, discussing ongoing investigations, strategic priorities, and logistical details. His ability to remain calm under pressure, articulate complex directives, and anticipate potential challenges reinforced the respect he had cultivated over years of service. Even casual references to the prior day's bank encounter served as a subtle lesson in leadership. Intimidation or assumptions can be neutralized instantly when confronted with competence, experience, and composure. The agents listened intently, aware that the demonstration of authority witnessed at the bank reflected a broader principle that governed every aspect of his leadership. By evening, David returned to his office to finalize reports, review operational plans, and ensure that critical tasks for the following day were prepared. The streets outside were quieting as twilight descended, yet David remained fully focused, maintaining situational awareness and composure. The bank incident, though brief, had reinforced the principles that underpinned his career. That respect and authority are earned, demonstrated through consistent action and calm decision-making, and recognized instantly when combined with experience and professional competence. As he left the office for the evening, briefcase in hand, David moved with measured confidence, fully aware that his presence had not only commanded immediate respect at the bank, but continued to reinforce the trust and acknowledgement of those around him, shaping interactions in subtle yet profound ways. By midweek, the incident at the bank had quietly become a point of reference for both the FBI field office staff and the local law enforcement community. David Reynolds moved through his daily schedule with calm authority, navigating meetings, briefings, and operational oversight with the same precision that had earned him respect over decades of service. The story of the arrest attempt and the instant shift to acknowledgement once his role was revealed reinforced the lesson that composure and experience command attention and respect, often more effectively than confrontation or displays of force. David remained focused, understanding that his actions and demeanor consistently communicated the credibility and authority that could never be undermined by casual assumptions or ignorance. Throughout the morning, David oversaw agents preparing for field assignments, reviewing reports, and providing guidance on investigative strategies. His tone was measured and precise, his posture composed, conveying a sense of calm control that immediately reassured those around him. Officers and staff recognized that his authority was rooted not in title alone, but in consistent demonstration of competence, judgment, and professional experience. Even brief references to the bank encounter underscored this principle. Authority backed by action and composure is immediately recognized, and the respect it commands extends beyond any singular interaction. Later that afternoon, David attended a coordination meeting with community leaders and local law enforcement officials, addressing security priorities and collaborative initiatives. His demeanor remained calm, his words deliberate, and his presence subtly commanding respect from all participants. The story of the bank encounter had circulated discreetly, creating an atmosphere where previous assumptions about authority and status were quietly corrected. The officers who had once questioned him now deferred instinctively to his judgment, and even community partners observed the unmistakable calm confidence that David projected. By evening, David returned to the office to finalize reports and review ongoing case developments. The streets of Atlanta were settling into the slower rhythm of twilight, yet David's focus remained sharp, his composure unwavering. The bank incident, brief as it had been, continued to resonate in his mind as a reminder that calm authority and professional competence instantly override misjudgments, bias, or casual disrespect. As he prepared to leave for the evening, briefcase in hand, David moved with quiet assurance, fully aware that respect and recognition, once earned through experience and composure, are enduring and shape the perception of every interaction thereafter. By the following morning, David Reynolds had fully settled into his week, balancing the demands of the FBI field office with ongoing community and operational responsibilities. The city streets were bustling with activity, but David moved with calm assurance, fully aware of the authority he carried and the influence it subtly conveyed. Inside the office, colleagues and agents responded to him with respect, their attention focused and measured, reflecting both his earned credibility and the quiet lessons of the bank incident. The prior encounter had become a reminder of how composure and preparedness could instantly neutralize assumptions, intimidation, or casual disrespect. reinforcing the principles that guided his leadership every day. Throughout the morning, David conducted operational briefings, reviewed case files, and coordinated assignments with agents across multiple teams. His communication was precise and deliberate, leaving no ambiguity about expectations or responsibilities. The agents, already aware of the bank incident, observed how his calm authority translated to every interaction: clear directives, careful decision-making, and measured composure. Even routine conversations carried the weight of his experience and credibility, subtly reinforcing the respect he commanded without needing to assert dominance overtly. Later in the afternoon, David met with local law enforcement leaders to coordinate joint operations and discuss community safety initiatives. The room was attentive, the discussion serious yet measured, and David's presence naturally set the tone. References to the bank encounter arose quietly, not as gossip, but as acknowledgement of the way his calm demeanor had immediately shifted the dynamic with the local officers. Every word he spoke, every instruction he issued, reinforced the lesson that earned authority and professional composure command recognition far more effectively than confrontation or displays of force. By evening, David returned to his office to finalize reports, ensure continuity of operations, and prepare for the next day's tasks. The city outside glowed in the fading sunlight, yet he remained focused, moving methodically through documents and communications. The bank incident, though brief, served as a constant reminder that respect, once earned through experience, composure, and consistent professionalism, is immediate and enduring. As David left the office for the evening, briefcase in hand, he walked with quiet confidence, fully aware that the lessons demonstrated that morning had reinforced his authority, credibility, and the enduring recognition of his leadership among colleagues, community partners, and even those who had initially misjudged him. By midweek, David Reynolds had fully solidified the subtle but undeniable authority he carried within both the FBI field office and the wider Atlanta community. Every interaction, from routine operational oversight to brief exchanges with colleagues, reinforced the calm composure and professional credibility that had been demonstrated so clearly during the bank incident. Agents and staff responded with attentiveness and respect, knowing that his decisions were rooted in decades of experience and careful judgment. The story of the arrest attempt continued to circulate quietly, serving as an unspoken lesson that appearances and assumptions are often misleading, and that authority earned through competence and composure cannot be dismissed. Throughout the morning, David oversaw ongoing investigations, delegating tasks, reviewing progress reports, and providing guidance on complex cases. His demeanor remained composed, authoritative, and measured, creating an atmosphere in which efficiency, clarity, and professionalism were paramount. Even the simplest instructions carried the weight of his experience, and agents instinctively understood the expectation of competence and attention. The bank incident had become a reference point, illustrating how calm authority can instantly shift dynamics and establish respect in any situation, whether in a public setting or within the professional sphere. Later in the afternoon, David attended a collaborative meeting with local law enforcement and community leaders, discussing strategies for public safety and interagency cooperation. His presentation was precise, his answers direct, and his presence commanded focus without any overt need to assert dominance. Colleagues and partners observed the ease with which he managed high-pressure discussions, navigating conflicting perspectives while maintaining composure and authority. The bank encounter, though fleeting, had demonstrated to all involved that respect and recognition come not from intimidation, but from competence, professionalism, and calm decisiveness. By evening, David returned to the field office to complete reports and review plans for upcoming operations. The city streets were quieting as twilight descended, yet his focus remained sharp. He reflected on the lessons reinforced by the incident at the bank, that respect, once earned through demonstrated ability and composed authority, cannot be undermined by ignorance or assumptions. As he gathered his belongings and stepped out into the fading light, briefcase in hand, he walked with measured confidence, fully aware that his actions had left an enduring impression on colleagues, community members, and even those who had once misjudged him. The balance of calm authority and earned respect had been reaffirmed, shaping perceptions and interactions in ways that extended far beyond a single encounter. By the following week, David Reynolds had become an unmistakable figure of authority within both the FBI field office and the broader Atlanta community. His presence carried a quiet assurance that shaped interactions, influenced perceptions, and reinforced respect in every context. Officers, agents, and community partners approached him with attentiveness and consideration, aware of the experience and professional composure he consistently demonstrated. The incident at the bank, though brief, remained a subtle but potent example of the power of calm authority, a reminder that assumptions, disrespect, or casual arrogance are powerless against competence and earned credibility. Throughout the day, David conducted briefings with his team, reviewed operational plans, and oversaw ongoing investigations. His communication was deliberate and precise, leaving no room for ambiguity while reinforcing trust and confidence in his leadership. The story of the bank encounter quietly circulated among staff and officers, illustrating how a single moment of composure can command recognition and establish authority instantly. Each decision he made, each instruction he gave, reflected decades of experience and an unwavering commitment to professionalism, demonstrating that true respect is earned through action rather than assumed through appearance or title alone. Later in the afternoon, David met with local law enforcement leaders and community representatives to coordinate joint initiatives on public safety and crime prevention. His demeanor remained calm, measured, and authoritative, guiding complex discussions with clarity and insight. The officers involved, particularly those aware of the bank incident, instinctively deferred to his judgment, recognizing the combination of skill, composure, and authority he embodied. Even in the midst of potentially tense situations, his calm presence set the tone, ensuring that collaboration proceeded efficiently and respectfully. By evening, David returned to the field office to finalize reports, review operational outcomes, and plan for the next day. The city lights reflected off the streets and buildings, and the hum of traffic filled the air, yet he remained focused and composed. The bank incident had become a quiet benchmark of his authority, a reminder that calm professionalism, coupled with experience and strategic awareness, commands respect and recognition instantly. As he walked out of the office at day's end, briefcase in hand, David moved with measured confidence, fully aware that his leadership had left an enduring impression on colleagues, community members, and even those who had initially misjudged him, solidifying the principles of authority, composure, and earned respect in every facet of his life. By the end of the week, David Reynolds had fully reinforced his authority, both within the FBI field office and throughout the Atlanta community. His calm, composed demeanor, combined with decades of professional experience, had created a palpable respect among officers, colleagues, and community partners alike. The incident at the bank had become a quiet lesson in the power of composure and earned credibility, a brief moment that instantly transformed assumptions into acknowledgement, demonstrating that authority rooted in competence cannot be questioned or belittled. Throughout the day, David oversaw operations, briefed senior agents, and coordinated ongoing investigations with meticulous precision. His communication was measured and deliberate, reinforcing both efficiency and confidence in his team. Even minor interactions carried the weight of his presence. Officers instinctively followed his guidance, colleagues deferred to his judgment, and community representatives responded with attentiveness, all reflecting the quiet but undeniable authority he projected. The story of the bank incident continued to serve as an example of how composure, professionalism, and earned respect command recognition instantly, even in situations where initial assumptions might suggest otherwise. As evening approached, David reviewed operational reports and prepared strategic plans for the following day, his focus unwavering. The city outside glowed under the fading sunlight, the streets busy with commuters and the subtle hum of urban life. He reflected on the lessons demonstrated in the bank encounter. Respect and authority are earned through consistent competence, calm decisiveness, and the ability to project composure under scrutiny. By the time he left the office, briefcase in hand, David moved with measured confidence, fully aware that the impact of his presence extended far beyond a single encounter, influencing colleagues, community members, and even those who had once misjudged him. The lesson was clear, lasting, and undeniable. True authority is recognized instantly when backed by skill, experience, and unwavering professionalism, leaving a lasting impression on all who witness it.